Everybody's screaming. Why is it? Because it's time for the Halloween abnormals. Yes, yes, yes. So, what is an abnormal? Well, if you look in the description of this video right now, you will see two videos provided to you which will explain them. One of them is a short video which will explain everything in 60 seconds, but there's a second video which is about 20 minutes long, talking a little bit more in depth in regards to abnormal skins and, you know, how we can take advantage of it based on investing and whatnot. So yes, good day, Ruskin investors. It's time to figure out what prices we might want to offer for all of these Halloween items, the abnormal ones and the regular ones. I can confirm that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, just this one, not that one. 6, 7, and yep, 7. We have 7 abnormals to chase after today. Now you might sit there and say, but what about the Dracula mask? That's literally just come out, hasn't it? Well, that's also part of the problem. This came out on Monday. That means about 7 days later, we will have to do an abnormal buy order on a Sunday for this. So that's going to be its own special exclusive thing. But it's still a nice learning, something to learn from. So that is something that we can't do tonight. That's not going to happen until Sunday night. So we'll talk more about that a little bit later. But for now, we do need to talk about these skins, and then we can talk about the regular skins, the ones that aren't abnormal. So we're going to try our best to figure out, with all of the context that we can build up, whether things are going to work out all right, and what prices we might want to offer for all of these skins, because, you know, we're on the hunt to potentially make some sweet, delicious-looking profits. So let's just jump in and let's start talking about the Grim Farm Garage Door. I think this is an awesome-looking skin. I am not surprised that this was one of the winners of this week, which I should reiterate, all the skins from this week were contest winners, so just want you all to be aware of that. So probably the best, most appealing-looking Halloween skin that you could make, made by Johnny Oldboy, but it is the same thing. It's the same thing in regards to it being a problem. Once Halloween has ended, will this be retaining its value? Most likely no. And this affects every holiday themed skin. Once the holiday is gone, will people still care about it? The likely answer is no. And that is unfortunate. And that is something that we have to take into consideration with all of these other skins. So please be prepared for that. The likelihood of this skin retaining its value is kind of slim. It's an awesome looking skin, but I just cannot imagine that it's going to retain its value, and I am somewhat concerned where it might end up at, because this has ended up with at least 30,000 bare minimum sales. There's a lot of these that were bought. Now, if we just make a little comparison to last year, we are nowhere near the amount of sales that last year had for week 1. So at least it potentially won't be so bad. But let me just get this across to all of you. Right now it's Halloween. Basically, this is the week for Halloween. And do you see how most of this is in the negative? That's not good. And that's the state of Halloween themed skins. I know, it's awkward, but this is what you should expect potentially for next year. The likes of this, unfortunately, Halloween just doesn't get that much of a buzz when you compare it to the likes of Christmas. Nowhere near. Nowhere near. So, with the likes of this, I think I might just go lowball. You know, we should also just take into consideration the amount of garage doors that we've had this year. So if I quickly go over to here, and if I were to search for the garage doors, please remember we had quite a lot of them being given away for free this year. So if I could just quickly do this, with scmm.app, I can go to the item database, click this, I can go over to deployables, I can go to, where is it? Oh, doors are here. We're having a Hedge moment right now. Yes, we are. And we can see these all based on when they were released, as in more recent ones. How many garage doors were given away for free this year? We have this one, we have this one, we have this one, we also have this one and this one. We've had a lot given away for free. We have the charitable Ruskin, and then you should also take into consideration all the ones that we've been able to buy this year. A ridiculous amount of garage doors have come out. So you also might notice, let's sit here and say this is the start. So this is the beginning of this year. How many of these are in the negative? All of them except this one and this one. And that's not too surprising. We should also take into consideration right now it's still October, blah, 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 blah. You get the idea. But we have far too many options that have come out this year. And next year, do you reckon we might have even more? Very likely, yes. Very, very likely we will have even more next year, all right? I wouldn't be surprised. The Face Punch has been going crazy for garage doors this year. But, you know, they do sell. So what's stopping them? And what's stopping skin creators from making more if they know they're more likely to be accepted? So it's a cycle. Anyway, Grim Farm, with all the context that we've just built up there, I do worry for it. I don't imagine it will be retaining its value. I can still imagine, by default, it'll still kind of dip in... So after this has all ended, I expect it to dip in price. I still expect the likes of that to still spike in demand, spike in price around January time. All skins still go through the process of post-Christmas momentum. So that right there still might be able to have a nice bit of a boost there. But after that, around March, April time, that's probably easily halving in price. So now I have to look at this and make a consideration in regards to what am I going to want to offer. And I'll be brutally honest with you, having seen many holiday theme skins in the past struggle instantly, I'm probably just going to stick with maybe doing around $1. Yeah, I know. I'm distrustful. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry, but I'm looking at this with a financial perspective. I've seen things go wrong before, and I can potentially see some issues with in regards to that. Now, if you happen to like it, by all means, you can offer a higher price, but you have to take into consideration everybody else, right? Are people going to be wanting to have a very Halloween gimmicked garage door skin in March or June? Maybe next year could give it at least that, but like we just showed you with the skins from last year, and I'll show you week 2 from last year as well. Look at how week 2 Halloween skins are holding up. How many of these are in the positive right now? Yeah. You got that one right there. Fair enough. Cool. Rug from Hell isn't very Halloween gimmicked. And, well, Ghost Pumpkin Lunchbox, you do look very nice. But all of these other ones, oh dear. Oh dear. Yeah. They're not doing super well at the moment, and it's quite literally Halloween, basically, at the moment. So, yeah, awkward. Very awkward. So, I am probably going to do maybe between 80 cents to $1.10 for that. And that's going to be my answer. That's what I'm going to do. If you think, no, surely it'll go back up in price, surely everything will work out all right in the future, by all means, consider offering a higher price. That's your choice. But for me, I've seen it happen many times in the past, and I'm just going to leave it at that. I feel like I've said more than enough to explain how I'm approaching this. I'm concerned about what potentially could go wrong with it. So it appears to me being very Halloween gimmicked. So, yeah. Shall we move on? Right. So, this is still something I'm still considering. When you look at this, do you instantly assume this is Halloween themed? Spooky, yes. Scary, I'm sure a lot of people don't like spiders, so we'll consider that. But we've made quite a fuss about this, haven't we? We've talked about the interior colours for some certain interesting looking furnaces that have appeared over the past few years. If you were to look at all the furnaces, the vast majority of them have an orange, yellow or red interior. But what you can see here, this is green. Now I must reiterate, all furnaces emit the same light colour. But the interior, the emission layer on this skin, once it's turned on, it's all nice, bright and green. Very cool, very eerie, very spooky. But, again, as I just said, if we take a look at all the furnaces that have come out over the past few years, look at them by price. All right, look at them by price. And what do you see? Second place, second most expensive. We can see the Toxic Furnace with its very interesting green interior, as you can see right here. This is one of the older skins, so we don't actually have that many interesting images to take a look at. Little Ranger, wow, you've been around for a long time, haven't you? Then you have the likes of the Ghostly Flame Furnace, so get a good look at that. I want to look at the workshop, but yeah. Very distinguishable. Unique. Alright? So that looks cool. Then you could also bring up the likes of the Abyss Furnace. So yeah, these stand out. These are unique in their own way of their unique colour schemes. And then you also have the likes of Tribe Furnace, and now you have the likes of the Spider Cocoon Furnace. Every other furnace, orange, yellow, or red. And as you scroll down, look at where they're positioned. So many furnaces below their rust or price. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. So, looking at that, do you immediately assume this is very gimmick towards Halloween? I can say yes and no. I can still see this potentially having a very nice future. I will look at the amount of sales that we can see here, and I will sit here and say, you know what, I am a fair bit concerned. But let's remind ourselves from last year, I can't remember what week it was. Let's just hope for the best. Was it week 1? There you go, right. Last year we made a big fuss about this furnace because its overall look was pretty cool. Look at the state of that. That's scary. But orange interior. Anyway, what I care about is looking at its price history. So how did the sales go for this over time? So right now, this is currently selling for about $1.64, as you can see right here. But what happened to it literally once Halloween finished last year? It went down, as you can clearly see right there. But what happened afterwards? It still had the post-Christmas momentum. It still went up in price. It did go above its rush store price, but it didn't last. And then it went down. Went up a fair bit during the summer. Very nice, very cool. And then, autumn, fall, seasonal dip. So, is it all about appearances? Or is it all about what's inside? I'll be honest with you. This still looks very cool on the outside as much as it does on the inside. I am pretty confident in this, to be honest. Now, this has less sales compared to the other furnace. And if you make a comparison to last year, they had so much more sales for the first week compared to what we see here right now. So I could imagine this might work out very nicely. I'm confident. I'm invested. So, looking at the likes of this, I'm thinking I might do maybe like a $1.20 to $1.70 buy order. Will this potentially still dip in price after Halloween? Kind of wouldn't be surprised by that. Also based on the sales. Could this still potentially have a very nice time during post-Christmas? Oh yes. How will this fare after all of this? I'm not 100% sure, but looking at all of those other furnaces from the past, I think it's going to be one of the more expensive furnaces. But again, if you just look at all of the more expensive furnaces, you'll realise they're not like insanely expensive. So simply retaining its value or staying slightly above will be more than enough to just kind of sit amongst all of these, because the vast majority of furnaces are in the negative, as you can see right there. Awkward. Very awkward. So, hey, $1.70 should be perfectly fine, I think. So, $1.20 to $1.70, that is the price that I'm going with. If you think, you know what, everything Hedge just said sounds very appealing to me, screw it, I'm going to go even higher. By all means, consider giving it a shot. But try and pick these up with a buy order, I reckon, because I don't really want to buy more of these and add more into circulation. That's my consideration. So we will look at this after the abnormal buy orders and we'll see what we'll do afterwards. All right, sounds good? Perfect. All right. Fridge from hell. So last year we had the rug from hell, and that just instantly went up in price. So this came out during the second week of the Halloween last year. It sold a lot, and then it just instantly doubled in price afterwards. But that's a rug. And thanks to that rug, which glows in the dark, which is very useful for early game with your base, because, if you can't see around your base, then you're kind of screwed. But having rugs like that, which glow in the dark, very helpful for, kind of gathering your bearings and being able to walk around and whatnot. But also, you could basically make your entire interior look like you're a cultist and whatnot. Cool idea. Cool approach. Loads of people like that. They bought it a lot. You can't really do that with the fridge. And then we also have to consider, how often are you even using a fridge? You have to really, 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 really consider this. Now, maybe lots more people will be wanting to use the fridge now because this skin came out. Fair enough. And if you've looked at this in-game, you can see how when you look at it from one side, the other sides turn opaque. And then when you look at it from the other side, again, it turns opaque. It's a one-sided view, and that's awesome. Circu did a wonderful job with this, and of course, as we mentioned when it first appeared, it's the first marketable fridge skin to have appeared in a very long time, 3 years. We do not have many of these in circulation, but we have had quite a few given away for free, and I'm under the impression that skin creators will notice that this sold well, and they're going to probably want to make their own fridge skins now, so we might see even more of them. We also might see Face Punch wanting to accept more of them because this sold well, and maybe content creators will think, you know what, I like fridges that look cool like this, I want my own fridge, and then we have a skin given away. Now, I should point this out, we are having Twitch drops in December. For December 2023, we're going to have a 10th anniversary Rust Twitch Rivals event. And of course, you're going to see maybe 20 plus Twitch skins being given away for free. Exactly like what we had back in summer. All right, so keep that in mind. I made quite a big fuss about this with a video I made, as you can see right here, the impact of Twitch drops. Is it always negative, or is it sometimes positive? Yes, sometimes it can be positive. It can be, but most of the time, negative. So if we suddenly see an abundance of fridge skins, so much worse for this, unfortunately. Now, I'm thinking way further ahead, aren't I? I'm thinking way further ahead. By default, is that going to do all right? Is that going to be okay? Well, you know, how do most From Hell skins hold up? And the answer is... Sorry. So, I'm a little bit concerned. I am a little bit concerned. However, as I have said, for the longest time, people have not been able to see a fridge skin appear in a Rust store. And I'll be honest with you, when you compare this with all the other fridges, I think people would prefer this one. I think people will be wanting this. I think this will be doing fairly okay, but I can't help but think it's going to probably still go below its Rust store price. I wonder why. But I will sit here and say this again. Usually around post-Christmas time, you tend to see a lot of the From Hell skins suddenly increasing in demand and spiking in price and whatnot. So, yeah, could this have a nice future ahead of it? It could, but there's many weird, potentially bad things that could happen to that if we suddenly see a whole lot more fridges being made. So, I am concerned. I might want to play it safe. So I'm probably going to do... what am I going to want to do? What am I going to want to do? Will this be going below its Rust store price anytime soon? I wouldn't be surprised. If this were to go down by 50%... if this were to go down by 50 cents, that means it would be a 20% drop. I think I want to do $1.20 to $1.70 on this one as well. I could imagine it goes below its Rust store price. I'm not sure how long that'll go on for. But I can't help but think it also potentially might have a nice, interesting future, as I've already said. So maybe you want to push it up a little bit more. Maybe you might want to go all the way up to $2. But I could still potentially see this going below its Rust store price. Not by a significant amount, but a fairly noticeable amount. So, yeah, I think that's what I'm going to suggest, all right? So it's up to you how you want to approach this, but we shall see. 23,500 bare minimum sales isn't ridiculous, but this is the first marketable, tradable fridge skin that we've had in 3 years. Things are awkward, all right? I don't fully know if that's easily going to be just doing it great afterwards, so I'd rather play it safe, all right? Sounds good? So that's all said and done. Let's now talk about the likes of the spooky neon small box. So I made a bit of a fuss about this when I saw this, and I mentioned who created it, Epic. Earlier this year, Epic made this neon X box. And then, funnily enough, this actually retained its value for a very long time. So we just quickly look at its sales history. So right now, as you can see, this is currently selling for $1.53. It's gone down by a fair bit, but there's like next to no resistance. It could easily go back up in price. So if we look at its sales history, you will see it's barely budged. It's barely moved. Now, I don't think many of these sell. I don't think these really move that much. But could we potentially see the exact same thing with the likes of our spooky small box? What do you reckon? Because, yes, you look at that and you can clearly see very gimmicky towards Easter. You look at this right here, and I'm pretty sure you're probably thinking the same thing, but with Halloween. It's not crazily goofy. Well, it's just a straight-up, perfectly fine neon small box skin, all right? And I'll be honest with you, I should probably look at last year's small box skin that was accepted. Yep, if you don't realise that, we'll quickly take a look at the likes of the pumpkin small box that was accepted last year. All of it was a pumpkin, glow in the dark, very nice, very interesting. But how did it perform afterwards? Not good, because right now this is currently selling for $1.29, and its sales history shows that still went up in price for post-Christmas time, as you can see here. But after that, just went down, went up a little bit for the summer, down again. Yeah. I could imagine our spooky box very likely will be struggling. It appears to be very gimmick towards Halloween, and I just don't assume it's going to hold up very nicely. So with that, what price am I going to want to offer for the likes of this? 80 cents to $1.10 is my answer. I might go lower. Maybe. But 80 cents to $1.10 is my answer. Yeah. Right, so that's playing it safe. I am concerned, but how many times have I said that? Okay, spider web rug. This is a talking point. When I saw this initially in the workshop, I thought, no, surely not. This is taking it too far. Transparency to this extreme, and then Face Punch picked it out as a contest winner. Huh. So I don't think we're gonna get a rug this transparent ever. Maybe we'll see some more that have got some noticeable transparency, but that right there. That is ridiculous. And I can't help but think at some point down the line, someone on TikTok is going to find some extremely crazy exploit for this. You know, being able to put this down but still see through it. In what way could that be utilised? Now, the first thing you're going to mention is the windows. Okay, that's cool. We're aware of that. Okay? We are aware of that. But I can't help but think maybe in the future with some new content, you could put that down and that's somehow going to be exploitative. Something that a lot of people are going to be aware of once it's been turned into a TikTok video and suddenly everybody buys it and suddenly it goes up in price insanely. But what would it be? What would it be? I don't know. So, yeah, this is awkward. I can see it doing very nicely, but you then also had to take into consideration how many rug skins have we had this year? 7, which is fairly ridiculous, especially when you compare it to the previous years. Yep. But you're not going to get anything like that ever again. I highly doubt it. I can't imagine any other type of design that could get through that would be this transparent. I was surprised we got something like that. But there has been a trend with skins having transparent parts. Well, yeah. But it's more about deplorables like this. And Facepunch, surely they must know that this is going to be utilised in certain ways which might be advantageous. Somewhat naughty. Pay to win in some aspects. But I just can't, on the top of my head, think of anything else other than the windows. Now, at the end of the day, I get to turn my entire base into spider webs and whatnot. You know, just like in real life. But it's a cool, unique design. Is it going to hold up well after all of this? Now, again, let's also point out, this has only got 21,000 bare minimum sales. You know? If this came out in the summer like that, that probably would have done at least 30,000 plus, easily. So I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, okay, so what do you think of this then? How are we going to approach? And I don't know. It's so awkward. And with that, I'm probably going to do $1.50 to $2 because I still imagine it might have a bit of an awkward period of time, you know, from here till December. But regardless, it will have a nice boost in price around January time. But what will happen immediately afterwards? How long until we get a TikTok video made about it and then suddenly everybody wants it? Yeah, there we go. That's the thing, really. So let's do $1.50 to $2. We'll look at the barter support afterwards and then we'll make considerations if we actually want to go ahead and buy this afterwards. Because at the moment, I'm very conflicted because I can see some great things happening with it in the future, but it all depends on how's it going to get utilised. So, yeah, awkward. I'll leave it at that. Let's just leave that now. Let's move on to this transparent Necro face mask. So I must reiterate, face mask, that's abnormal. This chest plate, no, it's not. So I don't know if we're going to see anything like this being made ever again. Maybe for next year, possibly, but that is a very goofy face mask with a lot of transparency. Is that going to be beloved after all of this? I am conflicted because I can see it potentially being disliked. That big pink top is not going to be useful for you in a lot of environments. If you looked at that immediately thought, oh wow, green armor, that's going to do all right. No, look at the top. Look at how noticeable that bright pink brain is. So I am concerned for this. Even though it looks really goofy, really cool, even though I don't think we're going to see anything like this being accepted anytime soon, for example. Are people looking at that and thinking, yeah, I want that. I want to use that. I think that looks awesome. I don't know. I do not know. I don't think it's going to have that issue where, do you know one of those face masks where if you look at it too far away, it makes your entire face, it makes it look as if you're not even wearing a face mask? I don't think it's going to have that issue, that type of beneficial issue. So, yeah, I have to be concerned now. Perhaps this is just too gimmick towards Halloween. Perhaps this is going to struggle. Perhaps this is very likely not going to go as far as I initially imagined. Now, you can see the comments, and people appear to be like happy, and you know they like it. They like it. So this is where I'm conflicted. Is it going to be all right afterwards? Is everything going to be okay? I am not 100% sure. Now, it only did bare minimum around 14,000 sales. That's not a lot. That is like hardly anything, especially when you compare it to all of the other face masks that we've seen come out this year. You can clearly see that this isn't exactly a super standout amount of sales. So with that, back to thinking again. Is it too gimmick towards Halloween? Chat, what do you think? What do you reckon? The brains ruin it? Yeah. Because That's a very notable point, because when I start talking about this, there's some very interesting, juicy details to talk about that one. But this right here, I am concerned. Now, we should also point out the many face masks that we've had for Halloween in previous years. We've had the likes of pumpkin ones. We've had some spooky-looking hockey masks. I mean, quite literally the hockey mask item and whatnot. Now, Franken face mask is doing all right, because that's a very nice, pure, mostly pure green. I mean, you know what? This is actually probably the best thing that we can compare to. Because when you look at it from the back, that's got a brain there. But that brain is not super noticeable. That right there has been utilised as a budget green camouflage face mask with the chest plate. We will talk more about this in a fair bit. But that's what the difference makes. That's not super noticeable. That helped it out. Whereas this, the face mask that we have on the zombie, the necro face mask, is just too prominent. But again, where was I going? Like, you got the pumpkin face mask there. It's down to 80 cents. What else have we had in the past? We had the glow-in-the-dark one, didn't we? Yeah. I think people like that because you're probably not going to see a glow-in-the-dark face mask ever again, so that's what keeps its price up. But if you were to look at previous Halloween skins, well, that's cool because you can mostly see your face, but yeah, they're not exactly doing insane. Okay, so I think I've babbled enough. If I'm so concerned with it, Hedge, why not just sit there and say 70 cents, 90 cents? Yeah. I can see people liking it. That's the annoying thing. But I think people are just going to sit there and hate on the brain, and I just can't imagine that's going to do very nicely. So I'm gonna kind of take a step back and say, you know what? I would just rather play it safe then. Maybe up to $1, so maybe 70 cents to $1. We'll see what happens from here on now. Okay? All right then, perfect. So that's all said and done. I don't want to talk more about it because I've spent too much time talking about it. Let's now roll over to here to Zombie Tsar. I am going to debate you on this, chat. We need to get down to an answer, all right? So this is one of the first glow-in-the-dark weapons that we've had in quite a long time, more specifically a gun. And as you can see, it's only the brain and the eyes. And a lot of people, when we first saw this, it immediately said, pay to lose skin. There you go. They lifted it. Right. So I need you to take this into consideration. When you're holding this gun, you're holding it towards yourself, aren't you? Yeah? Yeah. Okay, cool. Is that going to be super noticeable for everybody else? Someone super far away. Someone behind you. If someone's already behind you, they've got you. You know? But could this be utilised in a way in which, at night time, you would know how much distance you have with the aim sight and you can still shoot people at night time? I don't know. But I am still concerned about how instantly people will sit here and say, pay to lose, pay to lose, pay to lose. And I don't think that's going to work out very nicely for it in the future. Stop face palming! So, yeah. It's other people I have to take into consideration. And I don't imagine... But like by default, I don't think this is going to retain its value. At least in the short term. But I just can't imagine it's going to work out nicely in the long term as well. Also, fairly gimmicky to Halloween too much. So, with that, everybody keeps face palming. I'm sorry. But yeah, I can't imagine that being doing super well. So, let's also take a look at all of the SAR skins at the moment. And what do we see? The answer is, there's so many in the negative. It's unfortunate, but that's the current state of SAR skins at the moment. So remember this in the future. This is what it looked like now. I wonder what all of these look like around in just a few months' time. But anyway. That right there, by default, you will be going down and, it will be going below its restore price. That is expected, as you can see all the likes of these. But with this glow-in-the-dark feature, yeah, that's awkward. Very awkward. Maybe we're just better off doing a 70 cent to 90 cent buy order. Or, if you think, you know what, because this is somewhat unique, because we very likely won't be seeing any other glow-in-the-dark weapons for a very long time, maybe consider going a higher buy order. Maybe push it up to about $1.50. Do you reckon that's going to do all right? I don't know. I think I am just going to stick with doing a 70 cent, 90 cent buy order. Because if everybody says, pay to lose, pay to lose, pay to lose, then, yeah. And if I were to go to the workshop, have people commented that as well? And I like the glow. Well, they like it, but... There you go, yeah, so if it's got that stigma, it probably won't be doing well. So the best answer is stay away. So safe option, 70 cents, 90 cent buy order. Right, So we just finished talking about all the abnormal skins. We got that all covered now. And now we need to talk about the regular skins. All the skins that are not abnormal. These skins will only become marketable when the next rush store rotates in tomorrow. Okay? Sounds good. Right, let's get things started. We're talking about the likes of the Necro chestplate. Immediately when I look at this, I notice a certain interesting detail. The chestplate does not suffer anything like with what we see here with the brain head. This is just green. Yes, you've got a few black bits and some bones, but from a distance, all you're going to see is basically green. This is a cheaper option for green camouflage, but it's not the first instance. Even then, it's not even the first Halloween instance. As we just pointed out, Franken something, I've forgotten the name of it, unfortunately, but we will go take a look. Scroll down, look just a good couple years back, and what do we see? Franken chestplate. Right now, Franken chestplate is currently selling for $2. As you can clearly see, it's just a nice, basic, faint green, perfectly fine, nothing super standout, nothing like colourful, exactly what you need, exactly what you want. Now, when you look at the likes of what we have here, I thought it said Franken. When we look back over to the likes of what we see here, this is a much more prominent green. This is a bit more standout. Does this blend in nicely with the likes of the forest areas, the grassy areas and whatnot? I can see this probably doing all right as time goes on, but I don't think it's going to magically instantly go up in price. Will this potentially go below its rest of price? I wouldn't be surprised. And we should point this out to you. You can see when the TikTok video is made for this skin. So as you can see here, $2, scroll down, look at sales history. Oh, look at that. It just suddenly goes, whoop, what happened here? Well, we have a type of video being put out on TikTok every now and then, budget clothing options and whatnot. And the Franken chestplate has been mentioned in regards to green armor and whatnot. You know, not everybody can afford the likes of Forest Raiders, but they can, you know, spend their money wisely and look at other options. And yeah, Franken chestplate was considered, along with the face mask. Now, initially, this got super cheap. This was selling for like 40 cents a piece, 40 cents American. Could we potentially still see the likes of that happening with the likes of our brand new chestplate? I wouldn't be surprised. So I have to keep that in consideration. I have to be concerned, but I could see something interesting happening with it in the future. I am looking at that and I'm thinking, you know what, I probably want to do around 50 cent buy order. Because I can still see the stigma of, yeah, this is a zombie skin, this is a bit too gimmick towards Halloween, this very likely is, this probably is going to be at least halving in price. But at some point next year, it just takes one video and suddenly everybody wants it. So around 50 cents is my suggestion there. You could go a little bit lower, you could go a little bit higher, you could push it even further. But don't be surprised if it drops in price fairly sharply. I've seen many tier 3 armors come out for Halloween before, and they instantly go down in price. And I can't help but imagine this is also going to follow. But I have pointed out that Necro chestplate can be seen potentially as some cheaper green camouflage. We shall see what happens with the future. Now we're going to look at Kraken Shell hoodie and pants. Now I'm just going to instantly say this is going to go below its rust or price. Wouldn't be surprised in the slightest. Yes, we did see Kraken Shell tier 3 armor go up in price. It spiked in demand and spiked in price when we saw the arrival of these two skins. But, you know, once this is all said and done, this is all going to go back down in price again. Yes, that's not going to be surprising at all whatsoever. Now, this has sold a lot less in comparison to this. And I wouldn't be surprised if next year we see Kraken Shell Tier 2. Very nice, very cool. Suddenly everybody's going to buy this out if it was to be accepted. That Tier 2, potentially, you know, in fear if it happened. But my answer is, we still have to wait a year. You know, we still have to wait a year for that to happen. I'm looking at that and thinking, yeah, that very likely potentially could still go below 50 cents. Now, I must point out, this looks really cool. That is a very cool looking design for a pair of hoodie and pants. But I just can't imagine people would respectfully give it the due diligence and whatnot. Like, I just can't imagine people would care too much. Now, you know, if you wanted to pretend you're a pirate, Pirates of the Caribbean, maybe. But you got the other pirate clothing. Okay, at the end of the day, this is very likely going to be probably around 50 cents, maybe even lower. But again, City, they've been very successful with this set so far. You should expect another core piece next year. You should expect tier 2. Will it happen? Hopefully. If it does happen, you will see a spike in demand, spike in price for these as well. But with this, because of the sales now, I don't think this is going to have a pretty good future ahead of it, so this is probably going to suffer. So if you happen to like it, by all means, put a stronger barter down. But I think, again, around 50 cents for the both of these. If you want to go extra safe, go a bit lower. If you want to go a little bit more aggressive, go a little bit higher. But 50 cents is what I'm going to suggest. 50 cents American. Right, then we have the Zombie Bang LR300. Gun demand, issues with the LR300, its usage and whatnot. I don't even have to really look at this too much, I'm afraid, because I know it will be going below its rust or price. There's no stopping it. I'm not hating on the skin L4 FER. It's perfectly fine for what it is. But just take a look at all the LR300 skins, and what do we see? Oh god, yeah. Yep, only the older ones and the Redemption one. And yeah, we do have the Chameleon. It's not down too bad, but yeah, point is, if the actual gun itself isn't being used that much or, favoured, then people can't justify actually buying a skin and using it. And therefore, skin price is bad. Down. So that Zombie Bang LR300, 70 cents, 90 cent buy order. It was, it is what it is. Yep, that's the answer. And then we have Zombo. Zombo, I can respect it for what it is. Very cool transparency for the mouth there. Very nice, very cool. Spooky, yep, very nice. But gimmicky towards Halloween? Probably, yeah. Now, we have to mention all the hunting bow skins, because what you see here is not super great. They are all down to around most of them are around to $1. And unfortunately, I can't help but think Zombo's going to follow them. All of this year, all of last year, not looking good. Dragon Rage's doing fairly alright. It's part of a notable collection, so it gets that bit of a boost. So, yeah, it's going to be a 70 cent to 90 cent barter, I'm afraid. It didn't sell that much. I don't think it has that much interest. And, yeah, it is what it is. So, with that, we talked about all of the abnormal skins. We talked about the regular skins. We got prices figured out for the likes of those. And now we can talk about what we could potentially expect for tomorrow. So, let's just close all of this up. I accidentally closed scmm.app. I have screwed up pretty badly. Right. So, I'm sure many of you are aware that next week, we will be expecting the likes of base Decor DLC. If you have been looking at all the newest items on SCMM, it has noticed it. This is just a placeholder image. You should be well aware of base Decor DLC. It has been mentioned non-stop on the commits over the past month. There has been a ridiculous amount being mentioned. So we basically know everything that's coming out for it now. Most notably, if we quickly hop over to here, you can see that these storage barrels, they are technically a large box skin. They have the same inventory space as large boxes, but unfortunately they appear to be fairly pay to win. Now, I should point out, credit to the likes of what was his name, the first guy. Let me just quickly get this, because I saw this being screamed a lot on the likes of the Rust subreddit. So credit to the likes of Fuck and Rapid Snipers. They're on the Rust subreddit. They were pointing out how this is clearly pay to win. And Rapid Snipers doubled down and made it even more prominent with comparisons and whatnot. And I've tweeted this out. I made sure to credit them, and I'll say it again. Thank you very much to Defak and Rapid Snipers for pointing this out. This is all your regular storages, as you can see right here. And that's the amount of inventory space that you can get out of them. And then that's what you can get with these storage barrels. So yeah, they're probably going to get nerfed. Well, they should do, because that is pay to win. You buy the base Decor DLC, you have access to that, and you have a huge advantage. So we don't want to see this in Rust, do we? We don't want to see paid advantages. Hopefully this does get nerfed. Maybe, just maybe, the likes of this gets a nerf with its inventory space size. That very likely will be happening. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. So do be aware of that. Also, do be aware of the actual content from that Decor DLC, because that's going to be very, very interesting. We got the likes of wanted signs, the the saloon double doors, the rocking chair, the minecart planter. There was another planter I've forgotten, unfortunately. Buffer planter. What else is there? Torch holders. I'm under the impression we might see the likes of our dear torch. That might go up in price if we see the likes of those torch holders becoming a very nice thing. Basically, just put them on the wall and then, put the torch in there and there you go. And, Cultist Deer Torch being a fairly interesting looking design might get appreciated a whole lot more. People don't seem to like using it in-game, but they might want to put it on the walls. We shall see. So, yeah. Do be aware, that's next week. Not tomorrow, next week. November 4th swipe. So, understood. What we can expect tomorrow is Halloween. Yes, Halloween week 2. Halloween week 2 is expected for tomorrow. TGG has refined. He has filtered some skins out. Based on the words that he said, some skins literally got on the cusp of being to the quality standard of being accepted, but he wanted to refine it a bit more, help out Face Punch in regards to trying to figure out what skins they might want to accept tomorrow. Now, we'll point this out. Last year, we had 11 skins accepted for the first week of Halloween. For the second week, we had 15. All right? Considering we have about 160 or so skins here, including the ones that are accepted last week, there's a fairly decent chance about 10% of these skins are going to be accepted. And then you should also take into consideration there's like 15 rug skins, 18 sheep in a door skins, there's like, 15 garage door skins? Yeah, so there's a lot of skins for doors, but we only had one door accepted for last week. That was a bit awkward. So what do you reckon will be accepted for tomorrow? Give it a good look, start guessing. And don't forget to say thank you to TGG for refining all of that and getting that all nice and set up. So yeah, Halloween is tomorrow, and you should expect the items. You should expect the items to be appearing in the Rust store. They won't even disappear. They will stick around, but they will be gone by next week for November 4th swipe. So yeah, keep that in mind. Very nice, very cool. But I am expecting a big batch of skins for week 2, exactly like we saw last year. So with that, you should also be aware of the likes of all the brand new skins that appeared over the past weekend. So, of course, I did my new collection list as we quickly hop over to here, my Rust Workshop skin checks. We had around 70 skins this week. It wasn't ridiculous, as you can see, in terms of what was submitted in terms of the amount. But do keep in mind, some skins that were submitted before Halloween are still in contention for likes of being accepted for next week. So do consider giving this a good look. You could also go and watch the actual video, the Rust Workshop Skin Checks video. Of course, as I have mentioned many times, I add chapters, and you can quite literally skip ahead to every single continuation that's mentioned in the video. That's up to you. And yeah, we have some interesting skins that could get picked out. In regards to likes of Tier 2 armor, Thunder Gold appears to be, uncontested. But don't forget, just before Halloween, we had the submission of Redemption Tier 2. So technically speaking, Redemption could still potentially be accepted for November 4 swipe. It does compete with that. So that's an example of what you could potentially see next week. So give it a good look at all of that. Very nice, very interesting. And yeah, so player count didn't really change that much. Yeah. Commits, constantly keep an eye on all of that. And yeah, well, that's basically everything that we needed to sit there and say. I talked a lot, didn't I? Yeah, but there's a lot of skins, so yeah, okay. So, with that, thank you very much. Let's now skip ahead and do the actual buy orders. Right, people, here we go. It's 1 o'clock in the morning, and let's go attack. Come on. Give me that furnace. I want it. Give me. Come on. Don't start playing games with me. I need this. I need this. Oh, come on. Come on. There you go. There's that. Damn it. Grim Farm. $2,445. Oh my god. Whoa! Look at the state of that. You know what? Let's go 55. Alright, cool. $2,445 instantly when it appeared right in front of us. Right, so we're very concerned about this one, I'm sure. 65. 40. Yes. And then what am I missing? What am I missing? think we got everything now. And these two are probably going to take a little bit of a while to appear. So you know what? I'm happy with that batch. I think we're good. So what we're going to do is we're going to skip ahead and we're going to take a look at all of their barter support afterwards. So that. Right, gentlemen, we're back. It's been almost 15 minutes, and as you can see, some of the prices are being acknowledged on scmm.app, and if we quickly hop over to here, we can see that the likes of the Spider Cocoon Furnace is looking rather interesting. Over 3,000 requests to buy, 12 of them have basically already appeared, but don't worry about that too much. With what we see over here, this has a lot of interest. So, there's a ton of buy orders around just over $1. There's a very nice batch between, so it's up to about $1.50, and you've even got buy orders pushing all the way up to $2. I need to remind you, this is a $2 skin. You could buy this right now in the Rust store for $2, and it already has a buy order above $2. I am going to sit here and say, if you truly wanted to buy this, on the first day, if you're watching this right now, yeah, this looks perfectly fine to go ahead and buy. And, with all the talk that we had in regards to screaming and shouting about what potentially could make this special, I think it's got a pretty good future ahead of it. Even if this does, potentially go down in price after all of this, it's still expected to still have a very nice post-Christmas. All the Halloween skins did dip after Halloween last year, and then after that, they just went slowly upwards and nicely, and then, peaked around at some point in January time, so we shall see what happens next, all right? So as of now, that's looking perfectly fine with the support that it has. Compare that to the likes of the Spiderweb rug. This also has a lot of support, but it ends at $2, as expected. But it's very well built up. Look at that. Look at that. Loads of borders, loads of support. So yes, plenty of borders around $1. Plenty more above $1, and plenty of them from $1.50 all the way to $2. Yes, this is a $2.49 skin, but the transparency, I just can't imagine another skin like that being made and accepted. And well, from here and now, how might that be exploited? How might that be utilized? We don't fully know, but something surely is going to appear that's going to suddenly make it super in demand and a whole lot more valuable, if you get what I mean. So we've talked enough about that. As of now, you could just put down like a $2, 10 or 20 buy order, and you could pick these up for like 30 cents cheaper maybe if you want to just do a strong buy order. But I still think this is going to perfectly go up in price post-Christmas time. Will it at least potentially dip down below its Rust store price? I did expect that, as I said, and based on the barders that we currently see, it probably still will happen. But yeah, half the amount that the furnace had, that's a little bit awkward, but then we look over to the likes of the fridge. Now, when we did the barter on this, did you notice how it instantly had like 2,400 barders? That's just normal. We're used to that by now. Yes. So, yep, basically the same thing. Plenty of barders around $1, a fairly decent amount up here, and then as you get to about $1.50 to $2, it's very nicely built up. Looks very nice. Looks very strong. But will it all, stick? Will everything work out all right? With all of the other From Hell skins that we saw, they are somewhat below their Rust store price. But will everything work out all right around post-Christmas time? Fingers crossed, yes, I do think so. I think it's going to be okay. Will it stonk? Will it magically go up in price super crazily from here on now? Well, if we don't see another fridge skin for another 3 years, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a-okay. But if we start seeing a whole bunch more fridge skins appearing now, that this did quite all right in terms of its success with its sales and whatnot. But for now, the buy orders, they're fine. The expectation is it is going to dip in price a fair bit. But is it doomed? I don't think so. Sales were okay, but there's nothing we can really compare it to because this is the first fridge skin to be accepted in 3 years. So let's observe. Let's see how it turns out after all of this. Now we had the Grim Farm garage door, and this did have quite a lot of buy orders. I was surprised by this. Now, we were concerned. We pointed out all the issues with it. Very cool looking skin, but very gimmick towards Halloween. You got quite a lot of buy orders below $1. You got a decent amount slightly above $1, and then you got these buy orders here. I get the feeling these people don't watch me, which is fine, I'm not going to be upset by that, but I do worry for them. I do worry for them. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't mind if I'm wrong. It's a lesson learned, but I just don't think it's going to hold up nicely. I think it's going to be going below. And for a $3 skin, yeah, it is. Looking at the borders, it's very likely going to happen. How low will it go? That's the next question. So, all right then, with that, we can now move on to talking about the likes of the Necro face mask. We pointed out our concerns. We mentioned how it had some issues. Well, with what we currently see here, it's only going slightly above $1. 900 requests is still okay, but in terms of what we have built up here, I can't imagine it's going to just, like, retain its value or anything. I am fairly confident it will be going below its restore price. How low will it go? Well, we shall see. But in terms of the style and whatnot, I could see people liking it, but I just can't imagine it's gonna have enough demand to keep it up. Chestplate, I think, has a better future compared to the likes of this face mask. But this is the abnormal skin, and yeah, you're better off just doing a buy order. If you truly wanted to get this, you could put down like a $1.30 or even a $1.50 buy order. You would pick that up. Wouldn't be surprised in the slightest. There we have the likes of the Spooky Neon Small Box, and yeah, basically same thing. Buy orders basically end at slightly above $1, and yeah. So I am concerned. I get the feeling this is a bit too gimmick towards Halloween. I think people aren't going to be super crazy for it. Will everything work out in the end? Maybe. Possibly. It might reach to a point where it retains its value around post-Christmas time, but I do worry that it's going to be going below its restore price. And based on what we see with the support here, yeah, that very likely will be happening. Now, unfortunately, Zombie Soul hasn't appeared. Zombie Soul hasn't appeared, and I don't really want to stick around for too long for this. We had this issue last week, didn't we, with another skin? Basically, it's sold so little, nobody seems to be even bothered to sell it. What are you going to do? But my expectations still remained. I expect that it will be going below its restore price. And how low can it go? Just to be safe, as I said, 70 cents, 90 cent buy order. So maybe that might happen soonish, hopefully, but I can't stick around all night. I got stuff to do tomorrow. So with the likes of this, well, one more quick look, and no. So what are you going to do? So that's all the abnormal buy order support. The only skin that's looking to be perfectly fine to approach would be this Cocoon Furnace. So whatever you do from here and now, it's up to you. But we should now talk about what to expect for this Sunday, because you might be questioning this. What about the Dracula mask? Why didn't we do the buy order for this today? Because it literally only came out on Monday. So I must reiterate, on Sunday, we're going to be doing a stream, and of course, we're going to be waiting to be able to approach this. And of course, as you are aware, it will then appear, because if you understand the cooldown mechanics, if it comes out on a Monday, that means it's going to come out the Sunday going into the Monday UK time. And I have to also point out, clocks are changing this week. So from here on now, as a test, Dracula Mask will be appearing an hour early, and from here on now, for the next 6 months, abnormal skins now appear 1 hour earlier. So if you are a European, what a blessing. But for Americans, North Americans and whatnot, South Americans, yeah, there's like no difference to you. Like, okay, it's an hour earlier, cool. It's evening time for you, you're lucky. We have to stay up late. So yeah, abnormals will now be 1 hour earlier. Face Punch is based in the UK. Their times are based around UK time. So next 6 months, we don't have to stay up so late, and that is a blessing. I need that. So we got that all addressed. So we are going to have to make maybe a special abnormal video for the Dracula mask, because there's a lot to talk about in regards to how do you approach a brand new item and what prices might we want to offer for this. Because this is equivalent to the snowman, was it snowman mask? You know what I'm on about, the thing that they release every Christmas, which is also equivalent to a wood helmet. And is that good? Well, you know, for the resources that you can make, the resources that you need to make for this, it's actually pretty cool. Like, it's actually very approachable. In the early game, this actually might be considered to be a go-to instant thing that you want to get made. We will talk more about that this Sunday, all right? We will talk more about that this Sunday. But for now, right, it's abnormal. We're going to wait. Yeah. So, yeah, we got to kind of wait it out. Listen into everybody's feedback and then make a consideration. So that will be for Sunday. For now, as I have mentioned, oh yeah, didn't need that. You have to consider looking for all of this. I am under the assumption, much like last year, for week 2 Halloween, that we're going to have about 15 skins accepted tomorrow. Maybe we don't, but I'm kind of expecting a big fat batch. With 160 or so skins to look through, I get the feeling about 15 will be accepted tomorrow. If it isn't, then damn. But what do you reckon? Some primitive skins, maybe? Because, we got the hoodie and pants and tier 3 this past week. Maybe the likes of some boots and gloves. Maybe, what could we see? A large box, that'd be nice. A sleeping bag. Didn't get one of those this past week. What else is there that we could look forward to? Another rug. You can't rule out the possibility that they might accept another rug. Or another garage door. Don't be surprised by that. It could happen. Or maybe we get a wooden door. Maybe we get a sheet metal door. There's 18 sheet metal doors. Maybe, surely at least one of them. Maybe we get some double doors, We got some very nice, cool-looking neon armoured double doors right there. That would be a very nice thing. Maybe a hammer. Maybe a rock. Maybe some tools. Maybe a jackhammer. Who knows? Who knows? But give it a good look and start considering. And then, of course, tomorrow we'll be doing the Rust Door rotation stream. You're more than welcome to hop in and say hello. Look in the description of this video to get all my social details and whatnot. And yeah, that's basically it. We've said all we needed to say. And from here and now, we've got to keep an eye on the likes of that Decor DLC. We've also got to keep an eye on the likes of what's going to be happening for Christmas. Because maybe some other interesting details are going to come out. Maybe they've got some other plans. But at bare minimum, we do know that we're going to have the gingerbread building skin available to everybody. Ravenbox, please help. Shut up, Micro. Right, so one more quick look at the likes of the SAR and no. So who knows when that might appear. Someone has to list one on the Steam market for us to be able to actually do a buy order. And who knows? I don't think anybody here bought one. Kick animation part of the DLC. Really? I didn't catch that. I was talking. There you go. Where's that? Kick animation. Where did you see that? Kick, kick, kick. If I were to click this and then Control F kick. Reapply right foot, curve to kick anim. Exposed and renamed fields of double door. Oh yeah, because you got to kick the door. It's the saloon door. That's it. So instead of clapping and it opens, maybe just kick it. That's cool. That's cool. So yeah, you should be keeping an eye on all of this as well. So remember, all you got to do is go to Google, face punch commits Rust, and there you go. Rust reboot. There it is. That's it. That's all you got to do. And fix duplicate sketches across there. Whatever. Right, cool. So thank you very much for watching me today. I greatly appreciate it. I expect to see you tomorrow with the stream. And with that, thank you very much. Goodbye and have a wonderful night. Bye.